Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here for our second webinar of the day, where we're discussing the new resource for NTHS chapters. My name is Danny Rubin. I'm the founder of Rubin. We're based in Virginia Beach, and we provide online resources for business communication skills and employability skills. Our newest tool being Propel, which is what brought you here today, a tool to help your students improve their email etiquette and their professionalism when they are communicating with teachers, employers, colleges, the community, whoever. And we're thrilled to have you and excited to share the tool with you. I'll let my colleague Chelsea say hello, and then we'll let the NTHS team say hello, and also then Ms. Hagel, lastly, from Leander, Texas. So go ahead, Chelsea.
Hello, I'm Chelsea on the Rubin team. Like Danny, I'm also in Virginia Beach, Virginia today. I'm National Sales Manager, so you may see me at conferences this summer. And that's actually how this partnership got started. Peyton and I ran into each other on the expo floor at Vision this past fall. So happy to be here. Thanks for coming.
We'll go to Peyton. Go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Peyton Holland. I'm the Executive Director for the National Technical Honor Society. Excited to be with you today and appreciate you joining in. I've been involved in career and technical education for over 20 years and was just significantly impacted by CTE as a student. Really found my passion and purpose through career and technical education, and devoted my career to being in this space and trying to help other students do the same. So just number one, I want to say thank you to you all for the role you play in CTE. Thank you for being NTHS advisors. And we're excited to share this new partnership with you. We think there's a lot of great potential to help our students grow in those core 4 objectives that we have around leadership, career development, service, and recognition. And Rubin and their Propel tool can play a huge role in that. So we're excited to be with you today, and I want to introduce you to Christina here. Christina?
Hello, everyone. I'm Christina Council. I am the Marketing and Engagement Director at NTHS. I have spent most of my life in teaching and CTE teaching. I taught in Maryland and in North Carolina. Big shout out to Dr. Williamson. My last teaching gig was at Middle Creek High School. So very cool to see someone represent my school there. But I'm very excited about our new partnership with Rubin. Amazing tool. I'm excited to see you guys get started with it and be able to use it in your chapters.
Thank you. And Ms. Hagel, I appreciate you being here. She's one of the advisors who's already tried the tool and has feedback. And just give us your quick background, what you teach, and I'll bring you in about the Propel tool in a little bit. Say hello.
Okay. Yeah, I am Stella Hagel. I am an NTHS advisor on my campus in Leander, Texas, and I teach graphic design and animation.
Thank you. And we'll bring you in after we demonstrate the tool, get your thoughts on what your students thought and how you used it, that kind of thing. That'll be really helpful to hear from. Before we do that, Peyton, you want to share any news and notes to the group?
Yeah, just a quick reminder to the NTHS advisors on the call. May 1st is our scholarship deadline for the John H. Petit Scholarship. So please take time, go in, remind your students to get those applications in before midnight tomorrow night. It'll take them all of 3 minutes. We're giving away $250,000. So there's $251,000 scholarships. Make sure they're getting in for that. And if you plan on applying for the chapter awards program, which there's a level that every chapter should be able to attain in that, and then some that move up the tier a little bit, those applications are due tomorrow as well. So make sure to go check out the John H. Petit Scholarship and the chapter awards program and get those applications in. We'd love to recognize your chapter and your school for all the great work you're doing out there.
Great. Thank you. Before I demonstrate the tool, I want to ask just a couple questions to the group, everybody who's here. Can you first show me some Zoom hands? How many of you have received an email from a student that looked like they were texting you? Like a text message in your email? Any hand? Jeffrey, Benjamin, Tom, Jeff? Pretty much most people in the chat are raising their hands. And I know that's one of the reasons why you came today, is to help solve this problem and bring their professionalism up when they're messaging you. So if there was a tool that would help them write better, would you use that tool? Yes or no in the chat. Would you use a tool that would help clean up the texting? Great. And one more question just for our general knowledge. What email platform does your school system use? Gmail or Outlook? Gmail, Outlook. An even split maybe this time, but that's good to know. So what I'm about to show you is our Propel tool. It is available as a Gmail extension, an Outlook add-on, and also as a standalone web page tool. So you can also use this resource outside of an email platform if that becomes problematic for one reason or another. So to get us started, let me share my screen and demonstrate Propel. It's a 1-minute video. If you may have seen this, but if not, I'm going to share it again so we can all start from the same spot with this resource. So let's watch together and then we'll talk about it in the chat. New Propel email etiquette tool. When we hit compose, we're shown a pop-up form which guides the student to fill in all the important sections of the email from the subject line to the conclusion with a read aloud function in every step. And for schools that use Outlook, we have Propel there too. We need a subject line. The student wrote question lowercase q. We then need to address the person formally, but we're just going to write hi teacher. Student wrote good morning with a lowercase g and a sentence with no period. What's the purpose of the message? I have a question about my geometry assignment. I'm stuck on problem 3. I can't find the answer. 3 question marks. Not great. The conclusion, it's not formal. THX. Then we hit review my email. The words are formatted in the email. Check out the right side. We have light bulbs with more suggestions. By the subject line, your subject line is too short. Capitalize the first word in proper nouns. So we want the student to come over and change the subject line. Address the teacher with a formal title. Hi, Miss Smith. Capitalize the first word of a sentence. We want the student to come over, capitalize. Well, what about the end of the sentence? We're missing a period. Place the period. What about these 3 question marks? That could be unprofessional. Remove 2 of them. And finally, the THX, also not professional. Write out the word thanks. Propel teaches a student how to write an email, and the student does all the work. Okay, we come back here, turn off my share for the moment. Tell me first, I'm going to bring Ms. Hagel in just a second, but tell me first, those of you who just watched this, the attendees, do you think this tool would be helpful to help your NTHS members communicate with different audiences? Yes or no? Would this be a useful tool now that you've seen it live with us? And
feel free to throw in some funny examples of things you've received if you
yeah,
like. Well,
yeah, you're also welcome to tell us some of maybe the least professional ways students have addressed you in an email. Like, tell us some of the ways they've called you. Your first name, hey miss, hey dude, bruh. There it is. Well, make sure, Jeff, we just saw it. Make sure when you comment, you're saying you're using the everyone button, not hosts and panelists. I just want to share because I was about to say it and then Jeffrey did. Bruh, right? We actually, in our tool, we catch the word bruh and we flag that. And then we ask students to, that's actually a good one, Chelsea. We need to add teach in there to our slang lab. We're always adding to our slang library. Write that one down, please. So you see what it does. You see what it's about. And let me bring in Ms. Hagel actually first, because you used it with some students. Talk about that experience. Talk about some of the growth you saw, the learning that went on when students used the tool and how it sort of helped them see email a little differently.
It did. It let them see that, you know, some of the ways that they think they should be emailing is actually more suitable for a text, not a professional email in a school environment. I teach graphic design practicum, so professional email is one of the really big things that I teach. And I have a student that has dyslexia, and so he struggles with writing professional emails. And this tool has actually helped him a lot because of the formatting of it. It kind of forces him to break it down and see it in a way rather than just a block of text on the screen. So I think it's helped in that way as well. My students have also had fun putting things in there that are intentionally wrong to see if it'll flag it. So they've turned it into a game too. but even that's good because it's making them think about what they're writing.
That's great. And that's actually helpful for us because we, in this early phase of this product, we want everybody kind of kicking it around so we can keep refining it, adding more rules in, catching as much as we can. Because kids in lingo, I mean, it changes by the minute. What's slang yesterday is not slang tomorrow. So we're going to be constantly maybe chasing a little bit. I do. And thank you very much, Ms. Hagel, for saying all that. And I also want to point out what Benjamin said in the chat. I like that the student has to make the change, not just AI corrected. That is a huge part of this product. And we thought about that a lot as we were building it, is that we're putting all the work back on the student and we're suggesting, but they're doing all the typing. So they're learning and doing. And that's a big part of this. And we hope to retain that sense of learning and doing as the tool evolves, because that's what education is all about. Let me see if I missed any. Oh, mom, Mary Lee, you got a mom in the somebody. I mean, yeah, a lot of layers to that one to unpack. So you're seeing it all. And one thing I didn't say in the first session, but what's been amazing about this tool is 99% of students who use this tool no longer put the entire email in the subject line. If you're tired of seeing emails, the advisors here, the whole thing's in the subject line. When, just like Ms. Hagel said, when you show them those boxes and sections, they learn to write a subject line with a normal amount of words. So the whole unending sentence thing just vanishes. And that's been a beautiful surprise that it was that quick to go away. And so that's why we're very excited to have students use this. And again, I want to reiterate, this is at no cost to your chapter. So this is a free offer from us and NTHS to you. So let me mention one other thing, because there are situations where the students do not use email, or you're at a technical center and they're using emails from their home schools and there's not one uniform email address that, or domain everybody has. We have put the same technology from what you saw in Gmail and Outlook on a web page. So the same exact thing, the same learning can happen without needing to go all the way down into their email accounts. We love it when it can get there. Magic happens in there, but if it can't happen, you can use it on this web page where we have all the same, fill in all the boxes of all the parts of the email, subject line to the signing your name, everything in there, but they write in these boxes. And just a quick example, let's say they write question as a subject line and hi teacher, right? And they hit review my email. It gives them, it takes their work, analyzes it, brings it down here, offers instant suggestions like capitalize the first word in a subject line. So I already fixed it, but they would come over here and say, oh, I need to capitalize. So they, again, are doing the work. So, or if it said hi teacher, they would change it to hi Ms. Smith, whatever the case. And they can create an email over here, copy it, move it to Outlook, or move it to Gmail. So the point is, if dealing with email accounts is just difficult for whatever reason, you can still teach the same skills without needing to get into the email accounts. Okay, so that's really important that you know. Does anybody have any questions right now? If not, we'll give out access to the tool, show you how to get it and use it. But does anybody have a question, or Peyton or Christina, do you want to add anything that I may have missed?
Yeah, I'd just like to say, but thinking back on my time, even in high school, even now, I'm the king of run-on sentences and poor punctuation, and this would have been a huge help. And over, the last several years, autocorrect has become such a crutch for so many, and I find myself shifting from an autocorrect platform where I don't have to worry about and think about what I'm writing as much, to when I go to write handwritten notes, now all of a sudden my brain is exercising muscles that I've not had to use. And I think I believe Jeff mentioned that he was excited that it was not AI. And to me, that's one of the big things at NTHS. We want to empower students with tools that are going to teach them and empower them to take control of their learning and their future. And this is a step in that direction where, it's nice to have resources that help you autocorrect things when you're in a hurry, but learning doesn't happen in that way unless you're intentional about it. So this puts that intentionality and that control in the student's hand. And I'm super excited about that. I plan to use it some myself.
Thank you. And Jennifer, thank you for asking. I should have already brought it up. The privacy issue. So with our tool, it is built to not save sensitive student information, or PII. If you're familiar with those terms, we do not save that information. When the student writes an email and we analyze it, we immediately scrub any reference on our end of names, locations, phone numbers, addresses, anything sensitive. So we are not gathering student data for any nefarious reason. This is a sort of real time, just in time, helping them in the moment, scanning the message to offer suggestions for etiquette. And then the email it just goes right on by. So I do, but also, and we are familiar with signing data privacy agreements, security documents through school systems. We expect to come across those many, many times. We already have. We also provide curriculum for communication skills where we sign those same agreements anyway. So we are familiar with the world that we are all in. But by design, we're not saving PII, and it's not necessary. It's just about helping students on their way when they're trying to write somebody. So I hope that helps you. And as a segue, we can talk further about that, because the way that we're going to give you Propel is by having you book a short meeting with the Rubin team, Chelsea, or another member of our team, so that we can give you Propel based on your situation, Gmail, Outlook, something in between. So what you're getting right now to you directly in the Zoom chat, like to you, just to you, a direct message, is a link to our booking page where we need you to pick a time on your schedule over the next several days where we will meet and give you Propel in the way that you need it. It wouldn't be effective if we just threw it at you right now. It just requires a little bit of nuance. Every school system is different. Like, as we met with Ms. Hagel, we gave it to her. She used it with her students. It was, I hope you would say, Ms. Hagel, it wasn't a painful meeting with us. It was pretty quick, right?
Oh, yeah, it was very informative and actually thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, well, great. Even better. So again, what we need you to do, and we'll just give you some time to look across your calendar, is just pick a time with us right now, so we can meet with you and give it to you. There's, again, no cost. It's just we need to have that conversation.
Mm.
So I'll give you a second to do that, and then we can take any final questions. You should, again, check the Zoom message area. You should have a link waiting for you and your just to you directly. Thank you, Chelsea, for doing it. Yeah, teach. That's one. We also learned there's another slang term for tomorrow. Do you know TMMR? You ever seen that one? TMMR. That's one. I thought it was just TMRW was slang, but no, TMMR. Now it's in our rule bank. We're looking for it.
You're gonna have to come out with a dictionary for all the teachers too.
Right. We say, whatever you were trying to say, not professional. Switch it to the actual word. That's all you got to do. All you got to do is just switch it to the word. We already had several people in the first meeting at 12:30 Eastern, book meetings. We've already talked to Ms. Hagel and several others around the country prior to today. So, but again, you all being here, you are still the pioneers. You're, for the NTHS community, you're the early adopters. We appreciate that. I know you're busy, and trying new things takes effort, and that is much appreciated, but you will be the first round of folks who can talk about it as we get into the fall, and hopefully have a good experience and share this out, in your state, in your community.
Yeah, and
So,
something to think about as you think about your NTHS chapters getting geared up for the fall or at any point in time is how to integrate this into your normal processes. When you think about your induction ceremonies coming up, empowering students to be the ones that reach out and ask your guest speakers to come in, invite industry into chapter meetings to talk about what's going on in their specific trade, or to give a workshop on job interview or communication skill sets, whatever those employability skill sets are. You can utilize this as a tool to provide some communication training as part of your chapter meetings, help your students or your officer teams grow in that space as well. So there's a lot of different ways this can be integrated, and it's not intrusive into what they're doing, whether you're using the web version or Google or Outlook. There's easy ways to bake this into fun activities that you can do that helps those students build those employability skills. And as we think about those core 4 objectives around leadership, career development, service, and recognition, they're powerful communication building opportunities as you execute activities in each one of those different areas. So Propel fits right in to that learning process with them. And if you have any questions, or as you start using this with your chapters, feel free to share that back with us, because we love to provide case studies and examples of how folks are using this, not just in the classroom, but as a part of your NTHS chapter meetings or communications to help strengthen that employability skill development there.
Yeah, I thank you for saying that, Peyton. And like Ms. Hagel, what you said, the student with dyslexia, like that stuff is so meaningful to us, because we want to make something that has 100 uses, 101 uses. It just solves a problem, serves a need in all these little spaces, and that's what we want this to be. It's just this little tool that floats around and just helps in so many little moments for students with different needs, different levels of understanding. Some students are proficient with email and they need a little bit of help. Some students are totally lost, and everything in between. And but we know that email is the first impression in the world. It is, and so many times. And it would give us great satisfaction to know that one of your students got a meeting secured, or an interview, or something happened because that first email was so professional that the person wrote back. And like that to us is what this work is all for. We hope we can just spread that as much as we can, heading into next year. And by the way, I know we're at the end of the year and things are busy and wrapping up. Our intention with these meetings is just to sort of say hello, kind of set a plan. And even if we revisit it in the fall, that's okay. But it's important we talk now while this is still on the front burner, before we go to summer and you're like, what was that thing I met about in April? I don't know. You get to August, September, it's, things change. Any questions right now? Any last questions about the tool? You can also, I've sent everybody an email. You can write back to that. But any questions right now while we're here, or any ideas that you have with this tool? Like once you have it, what might you do with it? Any last thoughts from the group? Give you a moment to write. Love to know what you think and sort of how it strikes you and what ideas it starts spinning in your mind with your chapter. Okay. Well, again, like I said, thank you for those of you Jeffrey asked about expanding it to larger groups like CTE. Yes, we can talk about that in the meeting. Did you book a meeting, Jeffrey? I would encourage you, Jeffrey, to please book a meeting, and we can talk about getting your chapter started, but then looking at this as a tool, for the building, whatever shape it takes. But yes, please make time and we can talk through that, because certainly this is relevant for, lots of students, but, NTHS is the focus here, and we want to first show value for your student members. So yes, thank you, Mary Lee. Definitely roll into preparation process for senior interviews and resumes. Great. Love that. I would love it to be 6 months, a year from now, to be like, what was I doing before this tool? How was I doing it? How are we doing any of this? That would be a great mindset, like, boy, glad this is in my tool belt now. That's our hope as we continue to work on it and build it out. Okay. Anything else from the group? Christina, Scylla, Peyton, Chelsea, anybody before we wrap up?
Thank you to the advisors for being on today. We're excited to get this, free access to you with this tool, and hopefully you do find use in it. It's something that can apply across the school, and then they'll be happy to connect you with those opportunities. Right. We're just excited anything we can do to help build our members' confidence and give them tools to help them prepare for that transition from your classroom to whatever career they're going into. And if there's anything we can ever do to support you, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have new ideas, if you have questions. Feel free to let us know. We're open books and would love to help you in any way we can empower those students as they take that next step towards a career. So thanks for all your support and all you do, everyone. And thanks to Danny and Chelsea and the Rubin team for this opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well, all right. Well, we'll wrap up. Ms. Hagel, you're free to go. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you everybody for being here. Of the NTHS team, hang back 1 second. We can debrief. But thank you to everybody for being here. We look forward to talking to many of you in the coming days. Have a great afternoon.